Welcome to the QBQ podcast. Today's guest is John Kirkman. This conversation is a little different from many of the guest conversations I share here on the QBQ podcast. John isn't joining me because his company hired us to teach QBQ or because he's leading an accountability initiative at work. He's here because he found the QBQ books, connected deeply with the message, and immediately started thinking about how he could use these ideas with the teenagers he teaches and the people he interacts with in his everyday life. And John has quite a story. He grew up in Carson, California, just a few miles south of Compton, in an environment where drugs, anger, hate, gang activity were part of everyday life. His faith helped shape a very different path for him. And for the past 29 years, John has taught religion classes to teenagers in Utah. He and his wife have also raised 5 children and adopted 2 more. And today their family includes daughters-in-law and grandchildren. John is also the host of the Walking with the Savior podcast, and he's the creator of something he calls the You're Awesome Project. It's a simple mission to help people know they are seen and valued and loved, and that's where our conversation begins. Because as John discovered QBQ, he realized that the question at the heart of what he already was trying to do, what can I do to help this person feel awesome, was actually a pretty solid QBQ. So we talk about what that looks like with teenagers at work and in our families and even with complete strangers. John shares a story about one teenage girl that I think will stick with me for a long time. So here's my conversation with John Kirkman. Listen in. With the You're Awesome Project, what do you do with that?
So it started maybe 4 years ago, and it started with me reading about suicide. I work with teenagers. I lost one over COVID, and it was a year or two later that I found out. And then I had an adopted daughter who had trauma and had some experiences with attempts, or I guess you'd want to say.
Yeah.
And I was like reading about it, and I'm like, man, how do I help? I don't know what to do. How do I help? I'm like, people, no, you are loved. If I know you're hurting, I will give you a hug.
Yes.
I will tell you I love you. You are loved. And I'm sitting there reading this, and an idea comes to me to hold up a sign. It says, "You're awesome." And as students are walking in our school, I just stood there with the sign that said, "You're awesome." And I would
Tell me,
sit down.
what did their faces do when they saw
Yeah,
the
because
sign?
they'd be like, it's like they'd walk in the doors, and I'd be like, "Hey," and I point to the sign. They're like, "Hey, you too, man."
Yay.
And I get a lot of that. I got a lot of smiles. That was the key. And I was converted within the first half hour
That's awesome.
because I saw it on their faces. And I was like, I don't know if this kid's thinking about hurting themselves. I mean, that's kind of a morbid thought,
It is, but it's real.
but it's real. Yeah. So what I found is that when I adopt that mindset, and it's just like, okay, what can I do to help this person feel awesome?
What a great QBQ.
And this is kind of silly. I'm 55 years old, but I just recently discovered this kind of approach to that's QBQ. And it was probably because I was bullied a lot as a kid, or things like that. And so I was struggling. I wonder what this person thinks about me.
Yeah.
Even as a teacher, like, I wonder what these students think about me. And then I was like, stop it. And the QBQ method is like, split that around.
Yes.
This person's probably wondering, what do I feel about them?
Yeah.
And so now my question is, what can I do to help this person know in a very obvious, clear message that I think they are awesome, genuinely.
I love that.
And I think they are valuable, important, and that I genuinely care about them.
Yeah.
And that has shifted like how now I'm human and I'm not perfect at it, but like I try to show it in my physical body reaction when I
So
see,
it's not just words.
yes, when I see my students, and I'm like, oh, Tom, you're here today. I'm so glad. Now, and at first they might be like, what in the world is this guy on?
Yeah.
But when you see somebody and they respond like that, now it's not that dramatic all the time, right? But I try to show that, man, I'm so excited to see you and that you are so important to me. My goal is, how can I help this person genuinely think they're my favorite person in the world?
Mm-hmm. And you're not faking it. Like you really do.
Well, and I
Yeah.
genuinely want that,
Yeah.
because if we could see the person's true value and their true worth, and we see this in society, someone's trapped in, say, a well, and we'll
Yeah.
spend $10 million to rescue that kid.
One person. Yep.
And they might have special needs. Nobody cares. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
spend that $10 million, dig that hole, and save that person's life.
Yeah,
And it just points to the value of each person.
it does.
And if we truly just absorb that, how can I show this person their true worth and express that to them? And what I find is it just comes back to me. It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
weird, but maybe that's the QBQ thing.
I'm curious, how do you balance telling people they're awesome, being encouraging, but then also helping people be accountable, take ownership? Because sometimes people innately, we're awesome, but our output needs some improvement. Thinking especially teenagers, like I think my teenager is awesome and he needs to do his laundry. Like,
Well, first of all, this is what I will say. Positivity goes way farther than nitpicking. Being a teenager is hard. We're trying to figure out so much
hmm.
and we're so confused. And if
Yeah.
I can be your biggest fan
Mm.
and help you, and as I help my teenagers in the classes do this, I give challenges to tell 10 people a day they're awesome.
Okay.
And I challenge them to pick their own word. And then we'll talk to, okay, now we can say it. Now, how do you make it more meaningful? Now,
Okay.
here's the thing that happens. Because they're telling everybody else they're awesome, they start to feel it themselves. They start telling it to others. They start to think, well, I am awesome and I should act awesome.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
And
that
and
mental
it's crazy.
mindset. Yeah.
It's crazy because I see fewer problems in my class because kids genuinely feel care and compassion. And another thing I do is I say, okay, how can I help my kids feel it for each other,
Okay.
right? So I will turn to in the middle of class, I'll say, turn to your neighbor, give them a high five, and tell them that you're awesome. At the beginning, I'll show on a slide 20 ways you can say you're awesome.
Okay. So there's like options.
Yeah, so there's options and
Yeah.
they're picking their own and they're having fun with it. And some of them
Okay.
are just kind of goofy from, from AI or whatever that you're the goat.
Yeah.
You should be goated because you're the goat or something weird
Sounds
like
like my
that.
11-year-old. That's the one he
Yeah,
would pick. Yeah.
they just love anything fun like that. And so I'll say, turn to your neighbor and high five. So in my class, they're getting 5 to 10 of those in a 1 hour period.
Oh, wow. That much. Okay.
And so it's
Energy.
like oh my gosh, where else in the world am I getting 10 year awesomes in 1 hour?
Oh, nowhere.
Especially for these teenagers.
You're right.
And
Yes.
this is what I've tried to inspire my youth to become. And now I kind of just have some tools
A little
about
more
these questions.
tangible.
A
Yes.
little bit
Yeah,
more
we hear that a
tangible.
lot. Like, oh, I've always tried to live this way, but now I have a way to actually talk about it. It's a framework
Yeah,
on how to do it.
exactly. And I'm so excited to implement this 10 lesson curriculum for the classroom. I'm really anxious to go through it. And I don't have a full 40 minutes to do a full lesson,
Yeah.
but what I like to do is just like a 2, 3, 4 minute connection to what we're already doing,
Yeah.
but
That's great.
teaching them to ask the right questions is going to be so powerful. And I'm
Absolutely.
so thrilled by it.
I think it's so great when we can get this to the next generation. I tend to teach adults in the corporate setting, but there's a whole generation of people coming up that need this mindset sooner rather than later. So the more we have
Absolutely.
people, adults out there saying, okay, how can I get this to the youth? I think that's beneficial, really
And
important.
then if yeah, like managers, like, wow, like training your teenage workers at like a McDonald's,
Yeah.
helping them. Don't we all want them to take initiative? Well, they need training on asking the right questions.
Yeah.
If they learn to ask the right questions, then they're empowered to act in the moment.
Yes. Or when they have nothing to do and they're just sitting there, you have to teach them to
And
say, hey, how
yeah,
can I find something to do right now? What can I do to
yeah.
add value?
And all the tables are clean and
Yeah.
nobody's here. So what do I do next?
Yep,
If they don't
exactly.
know how to ask that questions, they get stuck.
They do. And they turn to their phones. I'll just sit here on my phone for a while. No, find something helpful to do.
Here's a QBQ. How can I help them succeed? How can I help them succeed? How can I set them up for success?
Yeah.
And then push that positivity. And then it becomes this cultural vibe, this cultural
Okay.
energy.
Yeah.
So in the home, it's like, we are we resonating that to our kids,
Yeah.
that positivity and that energy and that love?
Because it is so easy to just walk around and say, why are your socks on the floor? And when are you going to do the chores I asked you to do? And all these IQs, like from our content, that, who made this mess? It's so easy to do that. And I start to realize, wow, my only interactions with my children today have been me asking, when are you going to do something? Or why haven't you done something
Mhm.
yet? Instead of a big hug and a you're awesome. It's so easy to fall into just the nitpicking,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
maybe we lead with that love and we say a question like, what do you want to do to make today productive?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you want to do today to contribute to our home?
Yeah.
What can we do today to make our home a better place for all of us?
Invite them into it,
Yeah.
the
And like, hey,
decision making.
um, yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So like, maybe a little powwow. Hey, we got a messy kitchen, we got a messy living room.
Yeah.
What can we all do together to create an environment where we can feel more peace, safety, and calm? And because I don't know if I'm feeling peace in this mess right now.
Correct. It's
Uh,
clearly mid-July and this mom is
yeah,
like, "Ah,
exactly.
okay. Summer."
Exactly. But leading with that love and that positivity, and then also, on my side of my shirt, I says, "I believe in you,"
Oh, nice.
and I, I think that's a magical phrase. That is such a
Yes.
magical phrase.
Absolutely. Kids and adults need to hear that.
Yeah, they just totally do. And from a teacher, when they're struggling with a project, and then I
Mhm.
can come and I just kneel down next to their desk, look at what they're doing,
Mhm.
acknowledge the struggle, give them some coaching, and then say, "Hey, I believe in you. You got
Yeah.
this. I know
Yeah.
you're going to get this, and
Mhm.
this is going to be powerful for you."
Yeah.
And it's like water on a desert plant.
Uh-huh.
It just I don't know about you, but sometimes I have plants in my yard that
Mhm.
I turn my back during July,
Yep.
and that thing is like,
Poor thing is
whoa!
just dead. Yes.
And I
Yes.
was like, whoa, give that thing some water. And what's magical about it, uh, I'm thinking of one plant. It's been in a pot, and it's been
Okay.
just so neglected at times.
Hmm.
But every time it could just be like, oh my, I might have killed it. And
Yeah.
then just give it a little water, and in a day, it's just
Perks
back up
right back
thriving.
up.
And
Yeah.
that's what I feel about positivity and kindness and choosing, like, what can I do to help other people know that they're valuable,
Yeah.
seen, understood, and know that they are awesome because
Yeah.
they truly are.
That's really good. That's a fabulous use of blending of QBQ with something you were already passionate about. It
Yeah.
just fits right in there.
And it just comes down to the question, right?
Hmm.
Um, and sometimes I grew up in an environment where it was like, I got to be respected, you know? If you
Ah,
don't respect me, I'll show you respect.
sure. Of
I'll,
course you
I'll
will.
teach you to respect me. I
Yeah.
grew up in the LA gangster infested neighborhoods.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. And and it literally was this machismo, they call it,
Yeah.
But what I found is that with kindness, it does the opposite. Instead of like, you respect me, and like, I'll prove to you how, it's like, oh, let me prove how valuable you are.
Yeah.
And it's almost like in LA, it was like, I'll show you I'm better than you.
Which is
And I,
different
and
than, yeah.
and I'll push you down. I'll show you how stupid you are to
Mm-hmm.
prove that I'm awesome, or I'm better than you.
Mm-hmm.
And this approach is like, let me show how awesome you are.
Mm.
And then what's crazy is that people be like, no, you're awesome.
Becomes this like almost
Yeah, no,
competition
no, you're
of
more
encouragement.
awesome.
Yeah.
No, you're more awesome. I'm like, wait, the all I had to do is switch it around
Yeah.
and say, what could I do to help you feel awesome? And then you help me feel it's like, what?
Yep.
Whoa. I would
That's amazing. Can you tell me about a specific student who really you saw a change in them? You saw a change, maybe they were withdrawn and sad, and then because of this impact of You're Awesome that they changed. Do you have any stories like that?
Yeah, I'll give you one of the most touching stories I've experienced with this. So I challenge my students to tell 10 people a day they're awesome, and then we do a challenge for a couple weeks. And I tell them to tell 10 people a day you're awesome, or however they want. It just that's the title for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I say, meet 10 new people in 10 days.
Okay.
And so I teach them, and all they have to do to meet 10 new people is get a name, and I say, make 10 new friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, just say, hi, I haven't met you. What's your name? I'm John. High five. You're awesome. That's pretty much it. I just train them to do that. And we practice it in class. And so I was at a conference, a youth conference this week with 600 youth, and I was kind of in charge, and I was speaking to 600 youth, and I spoke every day for 50 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And I gave this challenge at the beginning of the conference, and then I just kind of reviewed it a little bit each morning, like how's it going? And then I would walk around, and I was constantly high-fiving kids and telling them they're awesome, things like that. So Thursday night, we're going home. Saturday morning, we had this kind of like, sharing portion
Okay.
where we just were in small groups of 40 people, and people took turns and just shared their thoughts and their experience about camp and what they learned, et cetera, et cetera. After about 30 minutes, this girl walks up to the front, and she's as shy as could be, as
Mm.
homely as could be,
Hmm.
just um, tender, tender. And she was very soft spoken, didn't speak very loud. Luckily, I was up in the front so I could hear her. And she said, for the past year at school, she's eaten lunch by herself in the bathroom. And my
No.
heart, my
Oh, I
heart
thought
just
that only
crumbled.
happened in the movies. Oh,
I know. I was like,
that's
no.
awful.
And she said this. She said, I had come to the conclusion that people are just mean.
Hmm.
That's the way people are. They're mean. And a week before this camp, she said she didn't want to come. And she told her mom, she's like, people are just mean. And I've given up on people. And I don't want to be around a bunch of people for a whole week. And her mom somehow convinced her to go. And then day one, people started telling her she's awesome. And
Ugh.
at first she's like, well, these people are in we had companies, each
Okay.
600 kids divided into companies of like 20.
Sure.
And they walk around and hang out and do a bunch of stuff today,
Yeah.
every day. And she said, at first it was just my company. And then people from other companies started telling me I was awesome. And then I started telling other people they're awesome. And she got tears in her eyes. And she said, for the first time in a very long time, I started to feel love again.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. It's
That's
like,
incredible. The power of our words, like that's, and just human interaction.
yeah, I was so touched by that. I was just like, it's just on social media for
Mm.
specifically, there's so much negativity, and sometimes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody will put something positive out there, and somebody just want to jump in and say something negative.
Yeah. Yep.
and they'll want to criticize, I'm sure I'll get criticism for this shirt. You know what I mean? Your shirt looks weird and funny. And I didn't show you the back of my
Oh
shirt.
yeah. Oh, okay, even more. I love it.
I've found that what it is, people are playing that game that I grew up with. It's like, oh, I'm gonna make myself feel better by putting you down. I
Yeah.
recently started calling it the stupid game
Okay.
because not only is it stupid, but
That's
it was like,
appropriate. Yeah.
I'm gonna show how stupid you are, you
Sure.
know.
Double
Um,
meaning. Mm,
and teenagers do this kind of naturally. They just
yeah.
are kind of negative.
Yeah.
They're they're really negative,
Hmm.
and they're not building each other up. They're doing the opposite. So I'm trying to train them to do the opposite. For example, in a class last year, these kids, what are we going to do after school? Oh, I'm going to go play pickleball. And then one's like, you suck at pickleball. And
Why?
why, why did, but like, that's the stupid game. Like,
Yeah.
you suck at pickleball. I'm better than you,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
And it's a stupid game because, well, you just spread negativity and it just didn't build your relationship.
Yes, exactly. We tell or I tell, I'm not sure my husband has picked it up from me, but I'll tell the kids, like, was it kind? Was it
Mm,
necessary? And was
mm,
it true?
mm.
And oftentimes they're like, well, yeah, mom, it's true. If they've said something negative to their siblings, I'm like, okay, but remember the is it necessary? Did you have to say that right now? Like maybe they're really not good at pickleball, but did you need to say it out loud to them? Is it kind? Kind,
Mm.
necessary, and true. It has to be all three of those things. And so often it's not.
Yeah. And I believe everyone's trying. We're just struggling because we're all human.
So
Yeah.
easy to be critical and negative and down on ourselves as well as others.
And so the thing I love about QBQ is the shift that can happen
Mm-hmm.
within ourselves when we start to ask better questions. This You're Awesome challenge was just me trying to find what could I do to help people feel loved.
Yeah,
It came because I asked the right question.
absolutely.
And if I said, well, this is a stupid problem, and people are stupid for suicide,
Mm-hmm.
people are dumb for doing that, and they're selfish, and they're just thinking of themselves, and you can go down that whole rabbit hole and get nothing.
Right?
And I don't know if I've kept anybody from suicide, but I know I've helped people feel better. And
Absolutely.
the person that's probably felt the most better is me,
Yeah.
because it's hard to have a bad day with that mindset of how
Mm-hmm.
can I help 10 people feel awesome today?
Mm-hmm.
And that is all QBQ right there,
Mm-hmm. It
asking
is.
the right question.
Yep, that better question. That's fantastic. What a perfect blend of something you were already doing and then realizing, oh, here's this technique of how to ask better questions that you could add to it to teach others as well. I'm so glad you found it.
Yeah, I'm so happy. I want to share one thing. Your awesome project is still super small. I mean, but I give out t-shirts that say you're awesome. I have yard signs around my community that say you're awesome. I've given out about 500 yard signs.
I love it.
And just a nice, I'm not making any money. In fact, I'm losing money. I'm
Yeah.
just giving stuff away.
Right. Yeah.
But it's because people are so valuable. My friend and I, one of my buddies, he saw a Facebook post that I made on it and he was super excited and he just jumped in. He's kind of the computer techie, and so he created an app called the Random Text Generator.
Okay.
It's awz.me. It's a
Okay.
website that you can use as an app type. And basically you scroll, and let me give you some examples.
Yeah, please.
And it's all free. Like I said, I'm not in this for the money. This is just a fun project. So awz.me, that's the website, and then it just says start scrolling. And for example, real talk, you're awesome, and that's just true. And then you can hit copy and then switch to your text app
Texting or
and
message.
paste.
Yeah.
And it's got, stars and glittery things, so it
Oh,
looks cool.
good. I love
And
it.
next one, you're a whiz with a heart and a horn going off or something. Next one, you're the goat of being a good human. Thanks for always being so supportive and awesome.
Huh.
And so you just scroll through these, and there's like 500 right now. It just came out
Oh,
um,
awesome.
last Wednesday or
Okay.
Thursday, and so it's just I just want to spread that positivity. And so my goal now is tell 10 people a day and then text 10 people a day. And if somebody texts me, I'm going to go through my little app, find the one that I think is perfect for them,
Mhm.
and shoot them a text.
Right.
Give it a shot and scroll those. And if nothing else,
Absolutely.
say
Oh,
them to
I'm gonna do it.
yourself. You'll feel better.
I should schedule text to myself to just come.
That's
That would be great.
not a bad idea. We'll work on
There
that.
you
We'll
go.
work on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Add a scheduling feature. That'd be fantastic.
I want all of my friends and my kids and
Mhm.
my wife to feel like they are my favorite person in the
Oh,
world.
that is a good goal.
And I came up with that because I had a secretary once at school,
Hmm.
and she was about 15, 20 years older than me. I was with her for about 8 years in that range where, we had a couple kids, and she was kind of became like a mom figure to me.
Okay.
And she was there when I lost my mom.
Oh.
When she got moved to another school, she was like, John, I said, I'll go if I can take John Kirkman with me.
Oh. Oh, that's so sweet.
Now, I don't know if she really did that,
Yeah.
and she might have told that to all my coworkers,
Quite possibly, but I don't know.
but I'll tell you what, man, I have never forgotten that.
That's
And
really sweet.
it brings a smile to my soul every time I hear that. And I genuinely came away with this feeling I'm her favorite person.
Yeah. Yeah. And that
And
made you feel great.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's so empowering. And how can I help people feel like they're the most important person to me?
Hmm.
It's a journey. I haven't figured it out, and
Yeah,
I
but you're trying. That's
I'm
great.
trying. And
Yeah.
that's what the QBQ is all about.
Yep.
Instead of saying, "Why doesn't she like me?" or "When will this change?" Right?
Yeah.
What can I do to help her feel like she's my favorite person? Love can change people's hearts and lives.
Amen. You said it all. I love that idea from John. What can I do to help this person feel seen, valued, and loved? Because sometimes when we talk about personal accountability, we immediately think about fixing problems, taking initiative, getting things done, owning our mistakes. And yes, of course, personal accountability includes all of those things, but sometimes the better question is simpler or just closer to home or more personal. What can I do to encourage someone? What can I do to make this person feel important? How can I show someone I believe in them? And I especially appreciated John's reminder that when we change the question, we often end up changing ourselves in the process. Instead of, oh, what do they think about me? I can ask, well, how can I make sure they know what I think about them? Instead of waiting for the people around me to be kinder, more encouraging, more positive, I can ask, what can I do to bring some of that into the room? That's personal accountability. That's the QBQ. I don't have to wait for someone else to go first. So maybe that's the challenge for this week. Find a person and intentionally let them know that you see them, you value them, you believe in them. And while you're at it, take John's advice and maybe just tell them they're awesome. So thanks so much to John Kirkman for joining me today. Thank you for listening to the QBQ podcast.